Hi.
Hi there. Okay, so I got everything working, I think. Oh, you're beautiful. Look how pretty you
Oh,
are.
thank you. Well, thank you so
Wow.
much. How are you?
Like, because I've never seen, all I've seen is your logo. So, like, wow, what a woman.
Yeah, I'm kind of shy.
So, everyone, I'm Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, and this is the witch behind Witchbox. What would you want us to call you besides that? I mean, I know your given name, but you don't put it out there, so I don't want to call you that unless you have a different name.
I'm Jessica White. I go by Jessica White. But Jess works. Anything works really.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this interview, and a quick shout out to the Gray Oak who let me Skype him like rapid fire just a few minutes ago to get my Skype back working. My recorder wasn't working correctly, so he helped me get that set back up. So I appreciate it.
Keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully it records.
Yeah, right? Ooh, nice ink. Are you working on something?
Thank you. Yeah, I have two
Ooh.
things going on up here. It's sort of an ode to Art Deco.
Oh, I love it. Oh, so,
It's kind of like the Blade Runner city behind her.
and it looks like
And
she's
then I
got like
have,
Liberty almost. It looks like a tricorn hat on her head.
yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
I've got
And then I just have some Massachusetts Mayflowers and some California poppies. Still working on it though. Do you
nice.
have tattoos?
I do. I don't know if any of them are showable. Let's see if I can get the sleeve up here. That was my first one. My little manta ray.
Oh, those are so cute. I love manta rays.
And I got it when I was in my 30s. And I've got Medusa as a mermaid started on my back. And I've got dragonfly, bear claw, and then my birth cards on my leg. I'd show you those, but I'd have to stand on my swivel chair. And then
No, don't.
we'd have one for America's Funniest Home Videos. And I'm just not there yet. So tell me, I've got this list of questions for you because I love talking to people who are creative. And the whole idea behind your company, where did you come up with this? What made you say, I think I'll put some stuff in a box and send it to people?
From Tumblr, actually. Someone on Tumblr was like, hey, why doesn't someone make a subscription service for witches? I would totally pay to get some like candles and shit. So I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what? I think that would be a really great idea if it was based on the eightfold wheel of the year. Just because I grew up in New England and the seasons were always a huge part of just my experience as a human being, and they're really important to me. So I sort of prepare a lot for the Sabbats, and I do a lot for the Sabbats. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be putting that energy into it, doing it for myself, why not share it with other people as well?
And I've seen some of your boxes on some unboxing and haul videos. I think that Ember Honeyraven gets your boxes.
Yes.
And Ember and I are dear friends. We've been friends for about 15 years. So,
Yeah.
and it was so cool when I saw
And
it.
Joey Morris,
Yeah.
you're like my holy trinity of YouTube.
And I love Joey. She's so sweet.
She is. I love her sassiness too. She can get sassy.
Yeah. I got the chance to talk to her in an interview, and I was like, you're just a nice human being.
Yeah.
Of course, Ember and I chat all the time, so.
Yeah.
Sometimes those don't go public. That's a good thing. What or who is your creative muse when you're putting stuff together? Is it the season itself? Is there some other thing that goes on for you? What makes you create?
Well, like I said, the seasons are just huge in my life. I almost to a detrimental extent because I have seasonal affective disorder, so the seasons literally affect me. So I think that's huge. And also just reading about the history behind all of the different times of year, especially old agrarian societies and sort of the traditions that they developed just around the land and live with the land. I think that's the biggest thing, just history and folklore and old agrarian societies, but also other witches. I mean, it's amazing how many witches are out there now, and there's just so many different people, and I get inspiration from every single one. You can learn something from every single person. So it's sort of a mix of old and new for me.
That's cool. I like that you bring it all together, though. When I first became a witch, started studying to be a witch, we didn't have all this. We didn't even have Telnet bulletin boards at that point. I mean, it was way back. So I look on YouTube and I see witches who've been forever and a day, like Reverence and Mirth, or is it Mirth and Reverence? Dubois? Jacqueline Dubois. Yeah, I see people who've been around for a long time, and then I see these brand new, they call themselves baby witches. They're not babies, they're newly hatched. They're like,
yeah.
It's amazing, and I love that I can find this. And the idea of the subscription Witchbox is so fabulous because,
oh, thank you.
Even I've been Wiccan since 1985, right? That's when I dedicated. So it's been a day or two. From the looks of you
Actually, that's the year I was born, in 1985.
See? I knew something good was going to happen that year. But and I look now and, you can get boxes with everything you need in it for ritual. And what a clever, I know I'm harping on that, but it's just so clever. Are you an Aquarius anywhere in your first three?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
And I think Moon in Sagittarius and Virgo rising. I think.
And the Virgo rising, that would make sense because that's got the practicality aspect of just, well, if it needs doing, let's just do it. So
yeah. Yeah.
Now, I know that Witchbox is an ongoing project. Do you have any new projects coming up? Do you have anything that you've been considering adding to the line, or?
Well, right now, I'm working on the Ostara box, and I have a lot of these little guys on my table. I don't know if you can see.
Ooh, yeah, no, they're bunnies.
They're little bunnies, yeah.
Precious.
And each subscriber is going to get one white one that smells like jasmine and honeysuckle, and one black one that smells like rose, and it's supposed to sort of represent the equinox, the equal day and night, and sort of how darkness passes the torch to light.
Very.
But other than that, Witchbox takes up a lot of my time. But I do custom Etsy orders sometimes. I'm working on a sea witch kit because I live about a mile from the Pacific Ocean, so I like to bring that to people who are sort of landlocked.
Yeah, very nice. Sorry.
Oh, hi, Kitty.
Yeah, she was fixing to walk on something that wasn't walkable, so we'll just avoid that before it gets started. Now, so you do custom orders. You haven't the Etsy shop. You have your website, which we'll put in a link downtown in the drop down. Do you have a certain ritual that you do before you start thinking about what you're putting to the box? Do you do any magical work on your own for inspiration, or how does that work?
I do have a ritual. I think it might be more of an OCD ritual than a magical ritual. I have to completely just clear my altar space. I have to sort of rebuild it after I sort of celebrate a certain Sabbath. I will have to just sort of change it with the seasons and get my mindset into it and organize everything. I have to organize everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like cooking in the kitchen. You clean everything before you cook. Yeah, you too. Okay, good. I feel better about it now.
It's got to be done, and then you can mess it up again.
Right, exactly. You have to start with a clean slate.
Yeah. I was just talking to Deborah Blake today. Her video didn't work. But she was talking about when she starts writing, she clears her desk and cleans it up. She doesn't even work at her desk. She works somewhere else but her desk. So I love that there's a theme where I have to organize this and then I can go do what I need to do. Now, why did you want to have a business? Did you, when you were a little girl and you were writing down all the things you wanted to be, doctor, teacher, Witchbox creator? Why? I know you said
that was exactly my list.
Right? And we forgot
Um,
Unicorn Fairy Princess. That was one of mine.
yeah. You gotta have that. I think, well, let me just say, before I was doing this, I was working in a corporate job. It was just like sucking my soul out of me. It was it was awful. And I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And I sort of got to a point in my life where I could start a new venture, where I could just sort of, take that risk.
Hmm.
And it was worth it for me. The risk was worth it for me. And I just did it. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. It was my New Year's resolution, and I did it. And it's amazing. It grew more than I ever thought it would. And I've touched so many lives now. I mean, that's I think the biggest thing. That's why I want to keep it going, is because I sort of inspire people to celebrate the seasons, and that's like the biggest compliment you can get as a creative person.
Jessica, that is so true. Now tell me, when did you start? What year? Because I didn't think you'd been in business for that long, but has it been 2 years, 5 years?
It will be a year on Beltane.
I thought whoa, I missed something. So a year in Beltane, and you've gone from 0 to 60, in terms of speed, because I hear about you from just about everybody these days. You
Oh,
know?
you do?
Yeah, I just told a group, actually Gray Oak's in this group, and he invited me to it, and I was texting, said, I'm going to, interview the creator of Witchbox. He's like, oh, that's so cool. And several other people were like, yes, I want to know more. So
Oh,
your
thank
name's
you to
out
those
there.
people.
And you've got a beautiful website. I don't know if you designed it or not, but it's really nice. It's very clean. I have a web design background, and I like simple.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I did do it myself, and I think it's simple by design because I don't have a web design background. So but just put everything out there, what you need, and that's really all you need. I don't like all the gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, and you can find what you need. You go, okay, that's what I want. I want to know how much. Oh, look, there's another level. What's that? It's just boom, boom, boom. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me get back to I always go off book. Can you tell? Um, has your own heritage, and I'm talking ancestry, blood. The people that you point your lineage back to. Do you think that's helped focus you or brought you to a spiritual path that you're on, or does it factor in at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you can tell by my hair, but I'm mostly of Celtic descent. I grew up in New England, which is kind of a cultural bridge, as it were, between the old world and the new. So I grew up around a lot of history, um, specifically Celtic history, um, and I just feel like it's in my blood. I feel like old Celtic cultures. I feel like it's in my blood, and I identify with it quite a bit. Um, yeah, and that's really the extent of my cultural upbringing. I think most of my identity as a witch comes from studying history.
Yeah, and there's so much. I think sometimes we forget. In our drive to be new, we forget about the roots and the skeleton and the bones of the thing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that, because I was a history major in college. So
Oh, so you're a fellow history nerd.
yeah, I kind of like it. I had a history professor who, when he taught you history, he would say things like, so this general, Big Al, you might know him as Alcibiades, he wanted to, and I will never forget what most people know as the 300. I learned it in a completely storytelling way. He was a natural born storyteller, and he would talk to you like these were his neighbors and drinking buddies.
That's the best. That's the best way to learn history, with storytelling, because that's really what it is. It's you're telling a story, just one that has passed a very long time ago.
Yeah, and you encourage people, I think, to tell their own story with your boxes, because you give hints and steps. You don't really say, okay, you must light this candle at this degree of the moon and that candle. From what I understand, like I said, I've not gotten one of your boxes yet. It's on my list of things to get
I'll
done.
have to send you one.
Well, I'm gonna subscribe at some point. So, but
Oh,
but for what I watch when I watch Ember unwrap hers, and there's somebody else. It wasn't Joey. It was another person unwrapping theirs.
I sent one to Dragon Feather a long time ago. I don't know if that's who you're
Maybe
thinking
it
of.
could be. It could be. But I know I've seen it on. It was that name doesn't click here, but I've got Aquarius rising, so many things don't click. Squirrel. Um, really bad. But so, I mean, do you feel like you're giving them a framework? Do you give them an actual ritual that they could if they want to? How does that work?
Yeah, so well, just on that note, I think the biggest challenge with Witchbox is the fact that pagans and witches are so highly individualized. And I mean, that's the thing I love most about it, but it's also the most challenging because I have to send out a box that really speaks to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to keep it pretty, not vague, but sort of purposefully nebulous, I would say, just because I don't want to force someone to work with a god or goddess that they don't identify with, or
Right.
if there's a certain thing that they don't believe in, I don't want to sort of put it in their face. So I do send out rituals, but it's mostly based on the seasons and just the universe in general. And if I do put in like a certain goddess or god, then I'll just like list a whole ton of them and just be like, all right, in brackets you can put whatever
Yeah.
deity that you want to work with. um, but I love that individuality is so fostered in paganism and witchcraft. That's such an amazing thing, sort of in the face of monotheism, where it's completely homogenized, and you're considered a heretic if you don't follow it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do it this way, or it's the stake for
Mhm.
you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, now, Jessica, what do you think is the most? Do you think that is? I was going to ask you what the most challenging thing is, but it sounds like maybe that was the most challenging. Or is there something that's more challenging to you than having to, make a one size fits all kind of box? And I think that it does very well. But what is most challenging to you? You think?
Definitely the individuality thing, hands down. That's the most difficult thing. Um, Also, just having to learn how to make new things from scratch every 6 weeks. So, like, this is the first time I'm making candles, and I just kind of had to do like a crash course and just learn it in the space of like a few days. So,
Oh, you made them. Oh, wow.
yeah, 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 I'm making them all myself. But it's also really great because I've learned so much about just being creative in the process,
Mhm.
and how other people do things, and how I can sort of turn that into my own thing and then give that to other people. So it's challenging, but it's also really, really rewarding.
Now, what about, and I'm coming at this from a business sense, because of course you said that, and my mind goes, what if she gets, 1,500 subscribers?
Oh, yeah, I've thought about this before. I cap it out right now at 50 because I don't think I can handle more than 50. I think at that point I would have to hire people. And I don't know if I'm ready to do that. I don't know. I just don't know. That's my answer. I don't know.
Because I looked at that and I thought that's a great business model. I mean, it's something I would think people really want. Because I know you sell out. I know that
Mm,
that people go wanting if they don't get on there quick.
yeah.
So that's an interesting thing to think about. How, I mean, who would you outsource it to? I mean, who would you hire? Because at
Oh
least
man.
at least you live on the West Coast where you can find a fairly eclectic group.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm in San Francisco, in the city. So there's a lot of really interesting people here. I know a few artists. I have thought about this. I know a few artists. I don't want to name any names, but um, I think I would want to get someone who can do illustration because that's sort of my weak point. So if I did hire someone, it would be someone with a really strong illustration background.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm actually, when we get off this, I'll send you the link to somebody that I know is an illustrator, but she actually lives on I believe she's in Massachusetts, but she's on the East Coast. So, but she's
Oh, that's my home state.
yeah, she's definitely pagan. So,
Oh, good.
yeah,
Yeah, please do. Please do send me a link. I love meeting new pagans.
yeah, she's awesome. And I love her work. I'm hoping she's going to do a tarot deck down the road, because of course that's my
Oh.
do a deck. Everybody do a deck. Now,
That's the dream, right?
oh, I would love it. What do you think your most rewarding thing is? I know you talked about touching people's lives. What gets you in the feels?
Oh man, when people send me messages like you help me connect with the Sabbath, you help me connect with the seasons, or even just people who follow me on Tumblr or Instagram who ask me, what books to read, just stuff like that, where it's like, oh my gosh, you actually respect my opinion enough to ask me. That's really sweet. When people ask you that sort of stuff, or they tell you that you inspire them, that's like the highest compliment that you can get. It's
Yeah.
amazing. That gets me in the feels.
Yeah. Now, what books would you recommend to somebody who is just wanting to start? What's your first history book? Let's stick with history.
Ooh, I would say, oh, I forget what it's called, but it's by Ronald Hutton.
I was just going to say Triumph of the Sun?
Triumph of the Moon.
Yeah, Triumph of the Moon. Yeah.
There's also The Stations of the Sun, which I think is my favorite in terms of just the Sabbats specifically. But I always tell people that they need to read Drawing Down the Moon by Margot Adler. That's so good. It's so good. She rest in peace, Margot, but she was a brilliant mind, and I feel really fortunate to be able to read something that she left behind.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she came from brilliant roots. Her grandfather, was it Benjamin Adler? I remember.
I can't remember his first name. Or was it her father was like a psychologist or something?
Her grandfather and father both were. Her grandfather was like a founding, I think it was behaviorism.
With like Freud and all those.
Yeah, he was a big name. And then Margot, of course, comes along and does her NPR. And one of my best experiences in life was being I was at the National Women's Music Festival in Bloomington. This is, a while ago. And Margot Adler was there, and Zuzana Budapest was there. And tornadoes, we were under tornado warning, not a watch, but a warning.
Oh my God.
And those two women are leading a circle of women dancing and chanting to ward off the tornadoes. I, being from the South, am under a table shaking like a leaf. And we had this one little girl who was so cute. She kept running out. She goes, Mom, her mom was texting me, I don't know why y'all are under there. The sky is fine. There's nothing moving, and it's a beautiful green. And I'm about, 7 tornadoes hit, and none of them hit us, but they hit like in a circle around us. Magic works, y'all.
That's awesome.
I think when Margot and Z said no, the universe went, oh, yes, ma'am. But
that's an awesome story.
Oh, she was amazing, and I regret not getting out there and saying, I was in that circle. Oh, no,
Well, tornadoes are scary. Who can blame you?
Right? It's like, oh, no, I'll stay under here. Y'all have that amazing experience.
Honestly, that's what I would have done.
Now, let's talk about business mission. What do you see your mission as?
To inspire people, to connect them with the seasons, which I kind of already talked about, like repeating myself here, but
that's okay.
That's really the big thing, is to motivate people to pay attention to the seasons and feel connected to it. And I remember there was one video where Ember said that she was really enjoying sort of changing up her altar with each season, and at that point I was like, oh, that's it right there. So I think that's the most important thing, is just to inspire people.
Yeah. She was just talking recently on one of her Imbolg about the Imbolg box, and talking about she didn't really connect with Imbolg, and she was looking forward to using your box to help herself connect with that. Hopefully I'll remember. We have a date tonight to do one of our Witchy Women chats, so hopefully I'll remember to ask her.
Those are my favorite when you guys do that. Like as soon as you post it, I get a notification. I'm like, oh, clicking on it. I'm like, I need to see it. It's
Yes,
like my favorite thing.
we have so much fun doing them. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. We chit chat during the week, via text and that, but I love doing it where we can Skype and just yap and laugh because, we never laugh enough. We're too solemn on those, I know.
You guys should do a podcast. I feel like every time I listen to you talking, it's like I'm listening to two really longtime friends just talk on the phone or something. It's very natural.
Well, we have known. I mean, the first time I met her in person was when I heard somebody. I was doing spoken word, and I heard somebody in the back of the audience yell, "Shut the fuck up and let the woman be." I'm like, thank you. I called her by a different name at that time, but it was like, yeah, thanks, Ember. And I knew who that was, and we'd never met, except online. So that was a good few years ago now. But
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
That's
So, Jessica, what do you think if somebody came to you and said, "I want to start a business. I want to do something." What was the advice you would give them?
Grow a thick skin. If you if you put yourself out there, especially on the internet, and you're just kind of like, yeah, you just put it all out there. People are sometimes not very nice.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of really nice stuff, but you're also going to get a not so nice stuff. So just grow a thick skin. Also, see criticism as a learning tool. If someone criticizes you, that should be a good learning experience, and sort of look at yourself in sort of an objective way, look at your work in an objective way, as much as that's possible. I don't even know if it is possible, but you can try. But I think that's the most important thing, to sort of staying creative and staying sane.
What is the, how do you phrase it? What's the best criticism you've got that you actually were able to say, there's some value in that? Let me move on with that.
Ooh, good question. I think it has to do with packaging design. Strangely enough, I think that's where I've learned the most lessons. And just hearing people tell me how, in what condition their stuff arrived, I think that's the biggest. That's like my favorite criticism, because then I can directly apply a solution to it.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about that some more. Let me get back to you on that one.
Now, have you ever thought about including, like, somebody would pay you to put their card in your Witchbox, or put in a coupon for their business? Have you ever thought about that? Or do you do that already?
Yeah, I do that. I started a few months ago. I think with the Yule Box, I started sort of featuring a small business or an Etsy seller, or fellow pagans, and it's really amazing just to see how people responded to it, because we all want to support each other. It's really amazing. And in the next box, I don't want to say too much, but I got some cascarilla from an Etsy seller. She's a witch, and I'm going to feature her shop in the packing list.
Nice.
But yeah, I always try to include other small businesses or other witches, just because we all really need to support each other.
Yeah. That is a very true thing.
It's not easy having a small business these days.
It's not, and it's better to support one another than to tromp on one another, I think. Mm-hmm. So, well, yeah. Thank you very, very much. Is there anything you'd like to talk about that I have not hit on? Because I want to make sure that you're heard, because what I want people to do is watch this video and sign up so they don't get left out.
Well, I actually wanted to ask you, what is your favorite tarot deck?
Oh, right here. It's the Gaian Tarot, and it's by Joanna Colbert. The backs are beautiful. It's
beautiful.
I have 6 copies, and plan to get it's getting put back out by shipper in May, I think, and I will get another copy of it. But
How many decks would you say you have?
let's see. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, no, you can't. I have over 400. I just
God.
I just got a new a lot. I buy on auction a lot, and I just got a lot that included the Brian Williams Renaissance Tarot, which is really a gorgeous deck. And I got the whole set for super cheap, so that
Oh
makes
my
me
God,
happy.
that is so many tarot decks.
I have that's Oracle's Lenormand or Lenormand, which I'm told is the correct pronunciation by Mr. Place, and Oracle decks, and I'm trying to think. I just put them, and I keep right here when I send stuff out to people. I have 2 old Rider-Waite's. They're both partial decks, and I just randomly pull a card, and whatever it says to me, I write that on the card for the person who's ordered something from me and ship that off to them. But I have, there's duplicates. I mean, there's lots of duplicates in there. Mary Kay Greer has me beat. She has, I think, close to 1,000. So
Wow. Oh my God.
yeah,
That's amazing. That's dedication, Arwen.
I love it. It's their tiny art galleries. I've got 78 pieces of art. I've got Lisa Hunt decks and Lisa Hunt is one of my favorite. And people already know I did a deck with her, a Lenormand deck that's coming out this summer. So I love her art style.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful deck for people that like Lenormand. Some people are not into it because it's very different.
Yeah.
From tarot, but
well, there are lots of different kinds of people, that's for sure.
Now, do you read tarot yourself?
I don't. I know very little about tarot. I do have my own deck. I don't remember who it's by. I don't have it near me right now, but I don't really. I don't know. The way I use tarot is as a tool for thinking about things. So
Yes.
just certain cards will make me think about certain issues in my life, or I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's what I tell people to use it for a lot. It's introspection. Pull a
Exactly.
card and say, why am I cranky today? And you get the Elder of Water. And for me, that's emotional secrets, and I know exactly what the damn deck is saying. So, shut up, Tara. Yes, dear. Come on up. Come on. You want to come up and say hi?
I know what that's like. I have 3 cats.
We have 5 and 4 dogs.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous of dogs. I wish I could have dogs.
Oh, well, we the problem was I married my husband. We've only been married about 2 years. He's an animal lover. I'm an animal lover. So, you don't get married and say, which of the kids are you not bringing in, Ms. Brady? So and this one, we actually rehomed a kitten, and the kitten came back to us with his sister.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he had a bad heart, so we lost him, but we've still got Miss Kisa, who is a demanding princess. If you've ever seen a black and white cat licking the lipstick off me, that's my Pentecostal cat. She does not approve of the facial makeup. But I'm so pleased that you were able to join me. I really, really thank you for honoring me and giving me your time, particularly when you're in the middle of, making boxes and giving birth to lots of bunnies.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I was so thrilled when you invited me. And I'm just like on cloud 9 right now. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time. And I will put links for everybody in the drop down so they can find you on. Do you want your Etsy shop and the actual domain, or how do you want me to put that up?
I don't have much on my Etsy right now because people bought the stuff that I put on there. So I'm kind of indifferent to my Etsy link, but anything helps, Arwen.
Okay. We'll put both out there and tell people to go out there and just randomly order stuff that she doesn't have on Etsy and watch her hair go. Thank you so much, Jessica. Seek joy.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.